KCHW 102.7. There's 38 Special and Hold On Loosely. Scott and Gene in the morning, and our special guest in the studio. Very thrilled to have Rusty Jackson in the studios with us. All right, good morning, Rusty. And you hail from Spokane, Washington?
Well, I live in Post Falls, but
Post Falls?
Around Spokane, yeah.
Okay. All right, tell us how long you've been there, a little bit about yourself.
I moved to the Great Northwest in 1994. I was born and raised in California. I know when I first moved up here, I found out it wasn't always good to open with that, but...
Probably not at the beginning, but people were okay with it.
Well, you know, it wasn't my choice. That was just where I happened to be born, but I've been living in the Northwest since 1994. Love it up here. Greatest place in the country to live. And I've loved music all my life and played country music when I was a kid. And then gave it up for a long time. And then a few years ago, I thought, I wonder if I could still play country music. And come to find out, we're still playing the same songs we did back when I was a kid.
Now, you were, when we've talked about around town, you're a big fan of the new Hank FM. You said that's the kind of music you guys play in your band?
Yeah, I'm in a band called Spokane River Band, and we play a lot of that same set list, 80s and 90s country. Some people think of that as the golden era. I also play a lot of 60s and 70s country because that's what I heard when I was a kid growing up.
Yeah, that's what I was subjected to because of my father. That's what he was into.
Well,
So.
would you have rathered polka music?
No, it was
Okay.
my dad was very German, actually spoke German, and
Wow.
came over on the boat and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
well, his family did. He was born after they got into the U.S., but it was either German polka music or classic country is what I call it, classic country.
Yeah, well, my dad was also the one who kind of introduced me to country. In fact, my name, I shouldn't say this, but my real name is not Jackson. But I call myself Rusty Jackson because my dad's name was Jack.
Okay.
And so when I started singing country music, I thought, I'm going to use the name Jackson because every time I play and people call me Rusty Jackson, it'll remind me of my dad.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Plus, if you make someone mad in the bar, they can't find you at home.
Oh, and it's great with the IRS, too.
I don't know who that guy is that keeps working and making all the big bucks, huh? All right. So we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about your band, but you do solo stuff too,
Yeah.
right? All
And
right.
I write songs.
And you write songs too.
Yeah.
So now today, are you going to play us some covers, some originals? What are we doing?
I got 3 or 4 originals that I'd like to do.
That'd be totally awesome.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for the first one?
Sure.
All right. So are we, ladies and gentlemen, Rusty Jackson.
Well, the first song I remember was Elvis Love Me Tender. I closed my eyes, I tried to sing it too. In El Paso, Marty died, and Johnny walked the line. Ricky said hello, Mary Lou. Beach Boys surfing USA, and the Beatles yesterday. On Sullivan, they made those young girls squeal. The Stones got no satisfaction. John and June went to Jackson, and Bob Dylan asked me, how does it feel? Well, it's my music, my memories. It reminds me of my hometown, friends and family. It reminds me of the cravings I did. It's the music from when I was a kid. Well, Sergeant Pepper was a fence, and that Walrus song didn't make no sense. That was the day I started loving Merle again. Waylon sang about cowboys, and Hank Jr. found his own voice. Jesus and the Eagles take it easy. Chuck Berry's ding-a-lingy. Lord, I was born a rambling man. Motown and Temptations, Beach Boy, Good Vibrations. It's just in another band. Well, it's my music, my memories. It reminds me of my hometown, friends and family. It reminds me of the crazy things I did. It's the music from when I was a kid. Well, you might hear wrong and think that I got something wrong. I forgot the songs that you love to sing. But get out your favorite records, the ones that you ain't paid, or try KCHW, play everything. It's our music, our memories. It reminds us of our hometown, friends and family. It reminds us of the crazy things we did. It's the music from when we all kids, when I still feel like I did. Yeah, it's the music from when I was a kid.
All right, Rusty Jackson. So now that's a song you wrote, obviously kind of maybe going back to the whole dad thing.
Yeah,
All right.
biographical in nature. I literally do. Love Me is the first song I ever heard. And in fact, what's weird about that is there was a thing on the internet the other day. It said, find out what was number one when you were born. That song was number one the day I was born. But it was still playing a few later, and that's when I really remember it. But, yeah.
All right, so you brought some more. Tell us about your next song.
Well, after I wrote that song, I got to thinking more. You know, the reason I wrote that song was I saw this news story, and they said when they go into these retirement homes and they play music from when those people were teenagers, not only does it make them happy and pick up their spirits, it actually improve their blood pressure and their pulse rate and everything else. And I thought, well, I better start listening to that stuff that I have a little health. And so that's how that song came. I thought, what was the music when I was a kid? And then I kind of went from there. And so then after I finished that song, I thought, Johnny Cash, I mentioned him twice in there. Johnny Walked the Line and John and June Went to Jackson. And I thought, he does a whole song just for him, because he was a huge, big influence in my life, and I know so many other people's musical lives, and just really touched the whole world with his music.
And and grew up pretty much, liking rock and roll, and especially through the 80s, hair bands and all that kind of stuff. But that's actually what was my favorite growing up. I must have had 20 Johnny Cash albums.
Oh, I remember this kid lived across the street from us, and he was a total rocker, and yet one day I walked past his house, and I could hear Johnny Cash at San Quentin playing in there. And, he's just huge. And, of course, he always wore black, and I'm wearing black today. Johnny Cash had that great song about how he wore black because of all the injustice in the world. I just do it because it's easier than going to the gym.
It's slimming.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
So this song's kind of like the other one. It's another big list of songs, but this one's just for Johnny Cash.
All right.
He was a man in black. He was a boy named Sue. He went to San Quentin, said, I hate every inch of you. He taught the weeping willow how to cry, cry, cry. He went down, down, down in a burning ring of fire. He got it one piece at a time, and he took his guns to town. He breezed into Jackson Sunday morning coming down. Well, it's been 60 years now since he walked the line, but the strength in his voice still echoes in my mind. Yeah, there's a line we all have to walk, and it ain't good if you just all talk. You gotta stand your ground, and then you'll find if you wanna be a man, well, you gotta turn and walk the line. There's a line we all have to walk, and it ain't no good if you just all talk. You gotta stand your ground, and then you'll find if you wanna be a man, well, you gotta take a stand and walk the line. Yeah, you wanna be a man, gotta take a stand and walk the line.
All right, I like that one. All right. right.
I was like going through. I should have been counting how many songs were named in that one. That was like really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I know musicians always have a hard time. Are you deriving a sole income from playing music? Do you do something else with your life?
I have a real job.
You have a real job. I'm so sorry. I hate real jobs.
No, it's been great. And I'm able to just do the music part time, and I really enjoy it. It's sort of, music has always been my avocation.
Okay, all right.
And I love it. And I've always loved songwriting. When I was 9 years old, my dad took me to see a movie. He took the whole family to see a movie called Your Cheatin' Heart, which was the story of Hank Williams.
Yeah.
And I was 9 years old. You know, when you're a kid, they're always asking you, what do you want to do? And the kids always say, policeman, doctor. None of those things sounded good to me. But when I saw that there was a job called songwriter, I thought, job ever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just sit and put music to them. And so I've been trying to write songs ever since I was 9. I've never made any money on them, but I've had a lot of people tell me that they enjoyed them, and that's worth a lot.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times my mom told me to go get a real job. Go get a real job.
Yeah.
And then my dad came. I remember he came to visit and he hung out with me, and for a couple days, and I took him to the radio station and stuff. And the next, Mom said, you need to get a real job and make some money. And Dad said, just leave him alone. So I was like,
Yeah, he did.
all right, yeah.
did.
He's having fun. Leave him alone. And now, absolutely horrified.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm sitting here going, yeah, I'm at that point too. This isn't a real job.
But it's a lot of fun.
It is.
And we get to hang out with guys like you. We love the live music and having people come in.
thank you.
Your connections in Spokane, just tell them, hey, if you ever want to go up and Chihuahua and play, I know a radio station that likes to play live music. And I am so, it's kind of one of the, I guess, the neat things of being able to do public, beholden to one of the corporations that own all the radio stations in the country right now. There's one company that owns like 50% of the radio stations in America. And you don't, so everybody's got that corporate mindset, and you don't see a lot of the arts, having an opportunity to be on the radio. I mean, we've even had people that paint and jewelers come in, and throw them up on the webcam and do what we can for that visually too.
I was going to say painters painting on the radio. That's
we've done some. We had a magician on the radio.
Oh,
and
Eric.
And he's a local boy. Local boy does good. And but what was really neat, so we put the webcam on him, but not everybody can watch the webcam. But he was so descriptive in what he was doing, and then he's a comedian as well. So it's entertaining all the way through. So it actually worked. But I think we could be the first radio station in America to have a magician on the radio. So
that's our whole World Wide Web on the webcam.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, so play us another song, and then we're going to take a quick break. All right?
All right.
Okay.
This song I think is the funniest song I've ever written, maybe. And is it clean?
Yeah.
It's
okay.
clean.
Okay.
I got the idea for the song. Actually, I was parking my car one day, and somebody had parked in the space I wanted, and I thought, "Hey, you're in my space." And then all of a sudden, my mind went to all these kids today. They use Facebook and MySpace to meet people and I wonder if they ever say, "Hey, you're in my space," and that's a good thing. And then I thought, what would it be like if you were a guy and your girlfriend broke up with you just by changing her status on Facebook? And
it's happened.
Oh, it does happen.
So that's sort of how this song came about. It's called "You're in My Space." You Googled me, and I Googled you. You sent hot mail, I said Yahoo. You got into my space, and I loved your tweets. We joined Facebook, and life was sweet. But old Neil was right back in '62. He said the breaking up, come a do down down was hard to do. I hit the wall when I logged in. Your status update said you and me was just friends. Now you're in my space, and I'm still your Facebook friend, and every Twitter just reminds me that you're gone. You're in my space, I'm still your Facebook friend, but I'll be free from your web before too long. I turned it on and I delete, mashing down a key. It never felt so sweet. I went to town and I saw her smile. I think I'll try living in the real world for a while. 'Cause you're in my space and I'm still your Facebook friend. Red Twitter reminds me that you're gone. You're in my space, I'm still your Facebook friend, but I'll be free from your web. I'll be free from your web. I'll be free from your web before too long.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
I think you got a hit record there.
That's it.
Yeah, wow.
Remember when we came up with that word that's like a mashup of all the
It
different
was
things?
like, yeah.
Yugu Instaface Twit.
Yeah, you Instaface Twit. That's my favorite
The
one.
Yugu Instaface Twit.
You're welcome to use that. All right, Rusty Jackson, we're going to come back to him, talk about his band, give you information on how you can find his music and where they played. You got some more songs in your repertoire, too?
That's right.
All right, so we'll be back with Rusty Jackson. Don't go anywhere. It's KCHW 102.7. All right, we're back looking at 828 and visiting today with Rusty Jackson, hailing from Post Falls, but we said Spokane. Close enough. All right, so you do some solo stuff, and you're a songwriter, and you've played us some wonderful songs this morning, and I enjoy your writing, too. Good job.
Thank you.
And that one was very funny. You might shop that song around. So,
Yeah.
All right. And you play with a band called the Spokane River Band, correct?
Yes.
Now, you guys have kind of a main place that you play at least once a week?
Every Thursday night we play at the Buckhorn Inn in Airway Heights. It's the oldest restaurant in Airway Heights.
All right.
That's distinguishing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I was going to make a joke, and then I thought I should stop. Okay. All right. But you played the Buckhorn. Is that a kind of a wild place, like a roadhouse?
Oh, no,
or
it's a small little place, and used to be heavily populated by military because Fairchild's right there,
Sure.
but not so much anymore. But we have a good time out there.
All right. What other kind of places do you play?
We play a lot of Eagles clubs, and we play some bars, and then coming up this summer, we'll be doing some festivals and fairs and car shows and that sort of thing.
Always fun, right?
Yep.
Extra money for the summer?
Yep.
So I always ask musicians these two questions just because I'm always entertained by the answers. Best gig you ever played?
Oh, gosh. When I was younger, I got to play New Year's Eve at the Pasadena Playhouse for the cast party.
Wow.
And it was going really well, except we found out that actors are bigger hams than musicians, and all of them wanted to get up and sing and dance and everything. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was New Year's Eve. We got paid good, and it was at a really nice the Pasadena Playhouse. It was cool.
All right. Yeah. All right. What kind of actors were there?
Unknowns.
Unknowns, but still hams, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And then worst gig.
That
Don't
probably
say
happened
Jimmy's
last
bar
week.
mitzvah.
Yeah, that
you know.
probably happened last week. No. I really can't say. I mean, it's a tie between about 1,000 of them.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry.
You know, the only thing bad about a gig, the only thing bad is when you get into a place and the power grid is not quite right, and so everything's popping and falling apart on you. But other than that, every gig's great. It's like the bumper sticker about golfing and work or whatever. The worst day playing music is better than the best day working, of course.
I don't think I've ever shared this story, but I was watching. There was a band. I can't even remember their name. It was years ago, and I'm talking maybe like 2 decades because I'm old. And the hotel and restaurant and bar as if you're going into downtown, it's on the left as you go over the bridge. It's the river or something. Is it River Bend? There's a motel and a bar in there. And anyways, it's the brown one.
Yeah.
And they've got a lounge in there, and they used to have live music in their bar and stuff. And there was a band that went around Spokane, and they were like a Journey cover band. And the guy was like the worst lounge lizard kind of singer everywhere. There's just something kind of creepy about him or whatever. And he thought he was Steve Perry. Yeah, I hope he's not listening and comes to haunt. But so they're playing, and they didn't have a sound guy, and something says that this power grid thing you're saying, he's hearing crackles and stuff, and the things aren't working right. And he walks over to the rack, and he's singing, and he's, messing with the controls and stuff. And then he reaches around the back of the equipment to shake a wire, see if he can stop that short. And it tosses him from stage left to stage right in about a half a second. All the way through the air. Oh, yeah. And the band stops playing, and, they're seeing if he's all right. And you could have heard a pin drop in the bar. And what did I do from the back?
Yeah.
Do
it again!
What score did the East German judge give him? Yeah.
So I bet you that was his worst gig. Right there. And probably just not the getting shocked, but the guy in the back clapping. That had to hurt, too. So.
That probably hurt his pride a little bit.
I couldn't resist,
I could so see you doing that.
So now your band, tell us how we find you guys. If people that love, I know we got some big country music fans here in Chewelah, and how would they follow you? How would they find you? All that kind of stuff.
It's kind of complicated. You have to go to SpokaneRiverBand.com.
Wow, that's tough. I hate modern technology.
Wait, you mean you're not on Facebook?
We're on Facebook, too. We're on there. But, SpokaneRiverBand.com. It's got our schedule on there and everything. And I'm really fortunate to play with these guys. It's Dwayne Becker, steel guitar player, been around Spokane forever. Brad Jeans, drummer, great. John Gray is this transplant that came in from Montana a few years ago, and I was fortunate to meet him, and he is just an awesome guitar player and singer. He and I both do most of the singing, and in most bands you just have like one lead singer. We've got two lead singers, and actually Dwayne does some singing too, and then we've got a girl named Alicia Kendall who came and joined us. She's 25. She just turned 25. So when she gets on stage, our average age goes down about 10 years.
All right. I'm guessing she's the pretty one.
She's the pretty one. And she has one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. And just the sweetest girl you'd ever want to meet, too. And so we do a lot of shows. And we've got a big show coming up April 30th at the Big Dipper in Spokane called the Highwayman Tribute.
Oh, nice.
And so we're going to do Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Chris Christopherson, one of my personal heroes. And then Alicia's going to be with us, too. And so we're going to do like a little bonus, what I call the Highwayman Wives Club. And so she's going to do, June Carter and Jessie Coulter and Rita Coolidge bits and pieces as we go. So
how fun.
We're really looking forward to that show.
All right, you got that posted on your Facebook page
too?
Yeah,
it's an event on Facebook and everything, yeah.
All right. Now, your personal stuff, you have Rusty Jackson Music, and you have a separate Facebook page for that, too.
Yeah, there's a website, rustyjacksonmusic.com, and then Facebook pages, and all that kind of stuff.
All right. Now what are you going to play for us?
Well, I'll do, since we're talking about the band, I'll do a song I wrote called Spokane River. And I wanted to write a song that the band could do that would say the name of the band. And I didn't want it to sound like a jingle. So I thought I'm going to write a real song. And so I had this idea, when I write songs anyway, it's like I usually get the hook first. And so I had this idea. I want the song to go, Spokane River, bring my love to me. And then I thought, okay, how am I going to write a song where that line makes sense? And so I came up with this idea about this pioneer traveling through the Northwest like in the 1800s, and he meets a Indian girl by Lake Coeur d'Alene and falls in love. Then he has to go on like to Portland for his job, and so he tells her, jump in that canoe and float down the river and join me in Portland. And so that's what the song's about.
All right. Once again, Rusty Jackson.
Well, across the Great Divide in '89, I was looking for a way to leave my past behind. I found my heart on the shores of the Coeur d'Alene. She was playing with the ducks and geese in the pouring rain. This princess was a treasure that I knew. dark braided hair and her eyes like sparkling pools. But the job I took was on the coast. I can't stay. I had to leave my heart on the shores of the Coeur d'Alene. Spokane River, bring my love to me. She's riding in a boat that her daddy carved out of a tree. Down to the Columbia, all the way out to the sea. Spokane River, bring my love to me. Well, it's been so long since I held my heart near. So I wrote her a letter saying, Princess, don't you fear. It's right that a river, it'll bring you straight to me. I'll be standing on the bank every day praying that I see the Spokane River, bring my love to me. She's riding in a boat that her daddy carved out of a tree. Down to the Columbia, all the way out to the sea. Spokane River, bring my love to me. Spokane River, bring my love to me.
Rusty Jackson, I love that line. In a boat, her daddy carved out of a tree.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good.
And that's hard
All right.
work because one of my boys and I got to go work on a giant canoe that was getting carved out of a huge cedar tree, and that's a lot of work too.
Oh yeah.
So now writing lyrics has got to be tough. I know sometimes I have to write promos or things like that. Sometimes it just doesn't want to come to you, and you got to wait till you find the inspiration or that kind of stuff. What, as far as writing songs, what do you use to find your inspiration? Do you have any tricks, any hang-ups? Tell us about songwriting.
Well, when I was 9, I saw that movie about Hank Williams, and I thought, well, I want to write songs. That seems really great. And I went home and I tried to write my first song, and I didn't really know much. I thought, well, it's supposed to rhyme. I know that. And so I think my first song, I didn't keep it, but it was something like Harry wants to marry Mary, but Mary loves Larry, or something like that. Yeah. I just knew that rhyming was important, and I threw it away in the trash, actually. And I had a big brother. I still have a big brother, and he was, the kind of big brother who would at least 3 times a week would sit on my chest and drool spit over my face and everything. And he saw me throw that away, and he went over and dug it out of the trash. And he realized I was attempting to write a song, and he mocked me for several minutes.
Oh.
And which was great because pain actually helps. And so I kind of set it aside for a little while. Then when I was a teenager, I started trying again, and I wrote a few songs when I was a teenager that my dad thought was good. So that was affirming, and I thought, oh, my dad thought they were so good that he was sending them off to publishers and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And then I wrote a song. I started playing in church, and I wrote songs for church, and I got a lot of good feedback writing. And it just started coming more naturally to me. It's like I said, some of these things, it's like just the first phrase comes to you, and then you start working out like, okay, well, and what I do for my real job is computer programming. And it's actually, to me, it's very similar. It's like writing a song to me is like problem solving. It's like I want to get a song that says Spokane River. How do I do that? And so I just start working on the problem, and it comes out. And that same brother who mocked me for the first song, I wrote a song one time and I sang it in church, and that day he came up to me and he said, "That's the greatest song I've ever heard."
Awesome.
So it was really, really a good moment.
All right, very cool. Do you have another one you want to? We got enough time. I think we can work in one more song.
Oh goodness!
Or if I'm throwing you on the spot, that's okay.
I could do the one that my brother likes.
Okay. All right.
It's this is a song I wrote and sang it in church, and it was during a time when we were kind of going through some difficult things, and so this is what I had got. Well, you asked His Holy Spirit to make you just like Him. How does it feel now that you got the chance? Don't you remember how He suffered before He was glorified? That was all a part of the dance. And what you're going through, it ain't nothing new. Don't you understand that there's a curse on man? Your troubles and your trials, He promised both of them. But He said He'd make it all work out for good. You say you don't see that happening, but look at where you are, doing the things you never thought you could. And what you're going through, it ain't nothing new. Don't you understand that there's a curse on man? I stood there in His presence, clothed in filthy rags. Satan was there just trying to put me down. Oh, but then the Lord rebuked him, snatched me from the fire, gave me some brand new clothes and a brand new crown. And what you're going through, it ain't nothing new. Don't you understand? There's a curse on man. But what you're going through, you know Jesus felt it too. If you ask Him now, He will show you how to live.
Rusty Jackson. Sorry for the canned applause. You deserve real applause. All right.
That's all right. It works.
All right. Well, keep writing songs. You
Yeah.
do very good at it. I love the lyrics and the singing. And we want to tell people one more time where they can catch up with you every Thursday night at the
The Buckhorn
The Buckhorn.
in Airway Heights and SpokaneRiverBand.com.
All right, and then you have Rusty Jackson Music on Facebook.
RustyJacksonMusic.com.
All right, and .com too.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so a couple places you can find us. Once again, you got a big show coming up. Tell the Highwaymen.
April 30th, the Big Dipper in Spokane, historic Big Dipper in Spokane. And we're doing the Highwaymen tribute, which would be Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, and Willie Nelson songs. And we're going to do a little video presentation with it because I don't look that much like Johnny Cash.
Just wear more black.
I'd have to shave. If I went down to a goatee, I might be able to pull off Waylon Jennings, but no, I can't do Johnny Cash. I've shaved my face before, and I know what's underneath there. It's not Johnny Cash.
Now, do you guys have all those songs from the Highwaymen kind of in your repertoire already, or are you having to learn new music for that gig?
Most of them we already do, but yeah, we'll be learning a couple new ones.
All right, how fun. That is a show to catch. Once again, April 30th at the Big Dipper. Do they need to get tickets in advance? Where can they get
We're
those?
going to be selling tickets. The Big Dipper will have them, and then we'll have I'm arranging right now to get an online ticket source.
Okay.
So we'll have that on the websites, coming up. Spokane River Band will have a link to it and that sort of thing.
All right. All right, anything you'd like to add?
Just thank you for having me.
No, thank you for driving up this
And,
morning. It's an early one, isn't it?
Thanks to everybody who's listening and watching.
All right.
I love you and God bless you.
And then it's two. We should let them know you got up early and you took a half day off work just to come up here in Chihuahua and play for us. So.
Yep.
One thing I didn't ask: do you have CDs and stuff on your website? Or
I don't have
downloads
any
that people-
recordings or anything for sale. No.
Okay. Well, you should do that. You know, you might make a few extra dollars.
Yeah. I'm in it for the fun.
You're in it for the fun.
I'm in it to make friends.
And the live appearances, right? All right. Once again, Rusty Jackson from the Spokane River Band, and of course some solo stuff too. Thank you so much, Rusty.
Thank you.
Does the band play some of your originals too? Do you guys get
We're
into-
doing one. Yeah, we did. Well, we do Spokane River, of course, all
Obviously.
the time,
Yeah.
and then a couple of the other ones. Yeah, we do them.
Excellent, excellent. All right, I like the funny one too.
Yep.
All right, you
The
should
Facebook one?
Yeah, you need to at least get that on an MP3 and up on
Before
your site.
Facebook goes out of vogue, I should probably capitalize on that
yes.
one. Yeah.
I think we might be stuck with that one for a while. All right, once again, Rusty Jackson. Thank you, Rusty.
Thank you.